What's happening, everyone? I am your boy, Jonathan Mathis, aka the Sports Judge. How's everyone feeling tonight? How's everyone doing? I hope all is well. I'm doing okay, considering that I had a terrible day when it comes to the NCAA tournament bracket. Now, this is nothing new. This always happens to me every year because I seem to pick wrong every single year. It never fails, right? And it makes me look like a total idiot when in reality I'm not an idiot. I just picked these teams because I think that's how it's going to go. But tonight we have a special episode for you guys. This is all March Madness talk tonight. The show focused strictly on March Madness talk tonight. I am joined by my good friend, as always, Coach Dante. I know he's keeping an eye on that Houston game. I know that's his team. Hey, I'm riding with the Cougars to go all the way as well. I think they have the recipe for success. I think they can make a deep tournament run. I think they can win it all because I think they are clearly the most complete team in college basketball. They have exceptional guard play. We'll talk more about that. But before we move on into the show, I want to remind everyone to make sure they subscribe to the Sports Empire Network page on social media. Also, you guys can find us on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Coach, how are you feeling tonight? How's Houston looking so far right now? I know UCLA's in halftime. They're up by 20 plus points against this UNC Asheville team. But how's Houston looking right now, man?
Well, actually, I'm a Longhorns fan. That's the only fan I'm not of Houston. Yeah, I'm a diehard Longhorns
please forgive me.
No, you're good. You didn't know that. But the Houston Cougars, they're in a close game right now. They top guard Marcus Sasser probably just went out the game. I think he re-aggravated his injury. So Houston is struggling right now. But again, you know what? I'm glad I didn't have a bracket, Mr. Jonathan, because it would have been busted. It would have been busted as soon as I got it. The way Virginia looked at today and the way Arizona faltered today. So the bracket would have been busted if I would have got it. So I'm glad I didn't have enough time to qualify on that bracket today.
I don't know if you see my meme. I posted it about an hour ago, and it has like a nuclear explosion, and the meme says my NCAA tournament bracket after today. And basically that's what it is. It's boom, like a big ass, excuse my language, ass explosion. That's basically what it is. My bracket is done. My bracket was done after Virginia lost. I picked Charleston in the upset. I was dumb enough to pick Oral Roberts. I actually had Oral Roberts going to the Sweet 16. I mean, I went out on a limb with that one, right? But I felt like Oral Roberts had the team that can get past Duke. Maybe I should have placed my bet on Duke. Maybe I would have been smart to place my bet on Duke. And now I got people on social media calling me out, making fun of me, saying that I suck at this stuff. as if I'm winning $1 million playing this or filling out a bracket. I ain't winning anything. It ain't a big deal. I ain't alone. I'm sure other people might have made some terrible picks as well. That's worse than mine, But man, this show is devoted to March Madness. This show is strictly March Madness, man. I was shocked as hell when Arizona lost because Coach, I had Arizona going to the Final Four.
That's what made it worse too. You had to go to the Final Four, and they never go deep in the tournament either. They never go deep in the
tournament. But hey, look, the President Joe Biden, and I'm not trying to turn this into a political show to all our sports fans out there. I just want to throw this out there. I just want to use this as an example. President Joe Biden picked them to win the whole damn thing. Now I didn't go that far, but I did feel that they had enough to beat Alabama on this part of the bracket. Look, Arizona Wildcats won the Pac-12 tournament. They went 28-6 in the season, entering the NCAA tournament, and were number 2 seed in March Madness. But then you get beat by a Princeton team that's number 15. You know what though, Coach? I guess it's not really that shocking. Shocking to say the least, because look, in recent years, you had a number 2 seed fall to a number 15, right? It's become frequent. Like, it's something that is more common now in March Madness, in tournament history, right? We're seeing more number 2s go down to number 15. So in that regard, it shouldn't be that much of a shocker, right? Or am I wrong?
Oh no! Like I say, in NCAA, especially in March Madness, you shouldn't. It's not that much of a shocker, But this is the thing about it. When you're a number 2 seed or you're a number 1 seed playing against a small school like a Princeton or a Furman or someone like that, they don't come on national TV. They don't come on that. They don't get a lot of TV time. You don't get a lot of time to see them. So you don't know what you're getting when you're going into a tournament. But again, you expected to win that game. You expected to win those games. The pressure amounts on the higher seed more than a 15 seed, more than a 10 seed, because you will pick to win the tournament. You will pick to go deep in the tournament. So guess what? You're going to come out the number 15 seed. They're going to come out with a lot more effort. They're going to come out with a lot more chunking up shots. They're going to come out with a lot more. They're going to come out with a lot more relief. They're going to come out with less pressure because they know that they know, hey, you expected to win this game. We're not expected to win this game. This is like our Super Bowl. We just happy to be in the damn tournament. But all of a sudden, you take your foot off the gas. You don't go out there. You don't put them away, and you let them hang around in the game. And when you let teams hang around in the game, when you let teams hang around like that, they're going to find a way to beat you. And that's what happened to Virginia. That's what happened to Arizona. You let them hang around. They're going to find a way at the end to beat you. You saw it took a steal on the inbound. Well, Virginia literally turned the ball over on the inbound, and Furman hits a 3 to end up winning the game. And Virginia's not a high-scoring team either. They most predicated off the defensive side of the ball, so they're not they can't beat you scoring. They slow the game down a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing with them. They slow the game down on the defensive side of the ball, and they are limited on what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. They don't score a lot. So is it really that much of a surprise? Yes and no, because of the team you were playing against and where you were seated, which is why it's so surprising to a lot of people. Which is why I only had them getting out of the first round. I didn't have them going any further. I had them getting out of the first round, and that was it. They were done after that. But Virginia couldn't even get out of the first round because I felt like if they would have gotten out of the first round, that matchup next would have been a dogfight, and that would have been a wrap for them. But they didn't make it out of the first round. 5 years ago, Virginia was the victims of the biggest upset in NCAA history. If you remember,
Yep.
they were
Virginia Commonwealth.
the
I
number
remember
one
that.
seed, and they went down to a number 16. They
Yep. I
went down
remember
to a
that.
number 16 seed. Not so long ago. But you're right. You can't let these teams hang around. These teams are playing with a lot of house money, and like you said, they're happy just to be in the tournament. They're dancing in the tournament. That's a huge accomplishment for these schools. But now Princeton and of course, what's the other school that took down
Furman.
Virginia? Yeah, they
Yep.
now. I mean, they can build on this. They go into the next round with all the momentum. They go into the next round with that us against the world mentality.
Yep.
And let's see what they do with it. But I mean, Princeton, man, they look really really solid down the stretch in that game, late
Yep.
in that game. You saw the momentum take a turn in their favor. Princeton ended the game on a 9-0 run, and that's what did it. I mean, that's what did it for Arizona. I mean, that basically ended Arizona's season. Like after that, Arizona just wasn't able to counter that with points. They weren't able to put the ball in the basket. It just was a tough stretch in the final minutes of the game. And Princeton took its first lead of the game at 56-55 with 50 seconds left. So that basically tells me that Arizona was pretty dominant throughout the game. They were able to control basically the first half and the second half of the game until late in the game. This is, by the way, the 11th time a 15 seed has beaten a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. And the second time it has happened to Arizona, who, by the way, the Wildcats, if you might remember, lost to Steve Nash in Santa Clara in 1993.
Yep.
In just the second time. That's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
Won. And Princeton won despite shooting just 40.6% from the field. So, I mean, it wasn't their best shooting effort. I mean, they could have shot the ball a lot better. And they shot 16% from 3-point range. But somehow, some way, they were able to pull off this unbelievable upset. Like, they were able to pull off the improbable, and they did just that.
Yep.
But where they hurt Arizona the most, which was very surprising to me, because look, Arizona has a lot of bigs, right?
Yep.
They have a lot of size when you look at their team. But Princeton held a 39-37. Get this. Princeton held a 39-37 edge in rebounds. So basically, they were able to out-rebound Arizona. This was a big upset. This was a big upset. And because Arizona had been a 14.5 point favorite in the game.
Yep.
That's a huge differential right there we're talking about. And almost everyone thought Arizona was going to win in their predictions for the game. So there goes the bracket right there. There goes everyone's bracket. Everyone's bracket exploded after that. That loss that Arizona suffered alienated everyone's bracket today.
Yep.
So you might as well just crumble it up and toss it in the trash, because the Wildcats did you a disservice. They ruined your bracket. They completely ruined it. But you gotta give Princeton a lot of credit, because they came to play. They never gave up. They kept fighting to the very end.
Yep. And that's what happens, when you're a small school going up against a big time college. You cannot allow a team in the Ivy League like Princeton to stay in a ball game, or they're gonna find a way to beat you. But Arizona didn't shoot good from the field either. They shot 3 of 16 from the 3-point line. They allowed Princeton to stay in the ball game. They also had 13 turnovers in the ball game. You can't win a game, shoot 3 for 16. I know Princeton shot 4 for 25 from the field, so neither team can really shoot like that. But the problem is you had 13 turnovers. Princeton got 2 more possessions than you did. That was the game right there. They got 2 more possessions than you actually did, and then they did good on the rebound and edge. And also, where were the guards at? What were the guards at from Arizona? Where were they at? Kirk Creason and Lawson. Where were they at? Courtney Rainey. What were they at? So at the end of the day, you're going up against, when any big time school going up against a smaller school than that, you're going to get them their best shot. You're going to get their best shot because, again, they expected, like, when they get in the tournament, that's their championship. That's their NBA finals. So they were just happy to get in. But also, they're going to be there to try to knock you out every opportunity you get. Every opportunity they get. And you got to give credit to Princeton. They played harder. They made all the right plays down the stretch. They made free throws down the stretch. They forced Arizona into turning the ball over. And they wanted it more than Arizona. And Arizona continues to show why they don't go far in the tournament, because of losses like this. And you just cannot trust Arizona. You just cannot trust Arizona. Cannot trust them at all. So at the end of the day, everybody bracket is busted up because of West Virginia, and Arizona. And it's going to be many more upsets coming on in that second round.
It is.
I'm telling you.
You can't trust Virginia either.
Nope.
You can't trust Virginia either. But it's been a tricky year in college basketball.
There was no dominant team in college this year. It was not a dominant team in college.
It was not a dominant team. It was not a team that really ran away with it this year. Yep. So it's kind of hard to give your prediction. It really is. It's hard to give your prediction.
Yep.
It really is hard to give your prediction. Give a prediction. And here's one more thing about Princeton that was very interesting. Only one Princeton player scored in double figures. And Arizona still loses the game. They find a way to lose the game. Right? My bracket is done, man. I don't know about you. You said you didn't create one. So you good. You good. You didn't create one. But I think Penn State is winning right now. I got Penn State. I actually got Penn State going deep. I got Penn State going to the Final Four. Not the Final Four. That's doing too much. But I got them going to the Elite Eight.
Okay.
I think they are a good underdog team that a lot of people's not paying attention to.
Yep. I actually picked the St. Mary's to go to at least the Sweet 16. I think that's a good basketball team out of the team that plays Gonzaga. That plays Gonzaga in the same conference. I think that St. Mary's team could be a sleeper 5th seed. But you had the only 2 people that was in double figures for Arizona.
Yeah.
Can you guess the 2 people that was only in double figures for Arizona? You don't have to guess the names. Just guess the positions.
It was someone in the front court, correct?
Yeah, they were in the front court. Both of them was in the front court.
It was Ballo.
Yep, that's one.
Believe.
Yep.
And the other guy was to how you pronounce his last name?
Tubelis.
Yeah.
No, the 2 big men was the only ones in double figures. The guards was bad, really bad.
Yeah, guard play was terrible. Guard play was terrible in this game. It was crap. They took a good crap on the court. They found the damnest time to do it. They really did.
Yep.
Crazy. crazy. I mean, I
That was
tell you,
crazy.
what a day it's been in college basketball. I mean, it's been wild. It's been crazy. It's been thrilling. There's already been so many upsets.
Yep.
And now I just can't wait to see what tomorrow holds or what tomorrow brings.
Yep.
Because if today was crazy, you can only imagine what tomorrow will be like.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow may be even crazy, maybe even crazier tomorrow because I believe again you have VCU going up against St. Mary's. VCU could very much beat St. Mary's. They could very much win that game. And I'm telling you, I mean, on upset alert, could be Drake against Miami.
I
12
know
against 5.
that's
They could be an upset alert. They could be upsetting.
I know that's a team you talked to me about the other night. I remember, and
Yep.
you said Drake can really be a team that you might have to look out for. But man, how about Alabama today?
Yep.
Uh, Brandon Miller was held scoreless as Alabama cruised to victory.
Yep. I mean, Brandon Miller is one of the top prospects in the NBA coming up. Didn't
Yes,
really look like it today, but again, it seemed like he didn't need his team. The team didn't need him today. They allowed him to sit back, and the team did it. Team did it on their own. So when you got teammates that can help you out, that's a plus. But you're gonna need Brandon Miller if you're gonna go
yes,
to a national championship and go deep. So this Alabama team showed some good fight. They played very well today. Team that just basically fought their way into the tournament. They just got through playing a play-in tournament game the other night. Congratulations to Alabama, but they're gonna need more. They're gonna need more from Brandon Miller if they want to go to deep in the tournament. If they want to go to the national championship, they're gonna need more out of their star player Brandon Miller.
according to his coach, Nate Oates said he's been dealing with some type of injury or whatever, and they're going to need him to try to be at least not maybe 100%, but close to 100% if they are to reach their first ever Final Four in school history. You know, there's a lot of great storylines surrounding this Alabama team, and they've had a tough year. Not winning games. They've been able to win games, but they've had a tough year with off the court issues. There's been a lot of issues with the Alabama basketball squad. You heard about the shooting that occurred. A young lady lost her life, and it it affected the team tremendously. But the team was able to overcome uh, those obstacles, and they still were able to find a way to win basketball games. This Alabama team, I really like this Alabama team out of the South region. I think their run to the Final Four um, is now an easier road. I mean, there's no gimmies. There's no gimmies in this tournament. I mean, either way, you're gonna face your challenges, and you're gonna have to be able to stand up to those challenges when they arise. Um, but I think it's an easier path to the Final Four now that you don't have Arizona standing in your way. Because I had Alabama, and I mean, I know this sounds crazy now, but I had Alabama losing to Arizona. I just thought they were too big. You know, I just thought Arizona too big of a
Man,
team,
Arizona
you
just
know,
had to mess
for
that up for you,
Alabama to
huh?
get through. So I really believe that was where Alabama's run will come to an end. Well, now I flip the script and say that Alabama can now reach the Final Four. I mean, because I mean it's wide open now.
Yep.
It's wide open, and now there's really no challenges standing in your way. I mean, I
Yep.
know there's Creighton still, I mean, the Blue Jays are pretty good. They
Yep.
can ride deep into this tournament. They got a good squad, and they can create some problems for Alabama. But I think Alabama is potent enough. I think they have more depth. I think they have more size. I think they're a more balanced team. They'll be able to take down Creighton, but it won't be easy. But I think that's their toughest test now.
That may be that toughest matchup.
Yeah,
Creighton maybe.
I think that's the toughest matchup when you look at the bracket.
Yep.
What you think?
Yeah, I think that's their toughest matchup for right now. Creighton going against Alabama. Creighton got a really good guard. And Nembhard. Nembhard is the brother of Andrew Nembhard from Indiana. And you got the big man, you got the number 55 who's a sharpshooter from outside, Shriver as well. You got Arthur Kaluma who can shoot and pretty much play some defense. But Creighton, I mean, they got to look out. NC State from the ACC, they had a great season. They're pretty solid. So that's going to be a good game. Creighton and NC State tomorrow that people may want to look out for. So again, Creighton got to get past 11 seeded NC State, which is I don't think that game going to be easy. But Creighton do got the team. They do got the team. I think they can beat Alabama, but I will take Alabama to win that game. I think Alabama has a lot of talent. And Brandon Miller, like I said, if he can get healthy, I think he's the best player on that floor if he can get healthy as well. And Iola play against UConn tomorrow. Look out for that matchup. 13 versus 4, and we see Iola go deep in a tournament. They went to the Elite 8 in the tournament, so that's a dangerous matchup for UConn.
That is a dangerous matchup for UConn. I know a lot of people got UConn going far as well. A lot of people some people on their bracket have UConn going to Elite 8. I mean, I don't know if I'll go that far, but people. I mean, you know what? The bracket is just a prediction. That's all it is. I mean, you can't. It's humanly impossible to have a perfect bracket.
Yep.
No one in this damn country is gonna have a perfect bracket. I don't care how much you know about college basketball or how knowledgeable you are. You're still gonna get it wrong at the end of the day. That's why I don't make it a big deal, because it's just a damn bracket. And people say you suck at it, you're terrible at it, you don't know what you're talking about. Hell, you don't know what you're talking about either, because at the end of the day, let me see your bracket. What does your bracket look like?
Yeah, you got some L's on that bracket too. You got some L's.
You got some L's on that bracket too. So don't sit here and like your bracket is perfect, because your bracket ain't nearly as perfect. How about Northwestern, man, taking down?
If I'd have had my bracket, that would have been a win. That would have been a win for me, because I picked Northwestern. I went for Northwestern. To beat Boise State. Northwestern is another tough team that come out of the Big Ten. They can shoot really good. They're really good. They have really good ball movement. And I like Northwestern, man. Northwestern is going to be a tough out in this tournament. And hey, that's a pretty good scrappy team coming up out of the Big Ten. So big win tonight for Northwestern. And I did have them pick against Boise State to beat Boise State. And Northwestern, that's a good basketball team. State in the Big Ten, those are really good teams, man, that you got to watch out for.
Yeah. This was a game that was built for a defensive slugfest.
Yep.
It was billed as a defensive slugfest. Both Northwestern and Boise State's offense clicked early. And Northwestern, man, they looked really, really good. I was very impressed. I actually talked about them the other day in the video, or this morning or last night, whenever I did that video. And if you watched the video, you might have heard me talk about Northwestern being a sleeper. Yep. After a 6-year hiatus, number 7 Northwestern made its much awaited returned to the NCAA tournament, and they made the best of their first round by advancing.
Yep.
They took care of business. But this was uh deemed to be a low scoring affair, right? A lot
Yep.
of people didn't think that you would get a 70 a 75-67 game. Because both of these teams are good defensively. Um, but Northwestern, they jumped out to an early advantage behind behind its defensive activity and the scoring
Yep.
efforts of its starting backcourt. Their starting backcourt looks solid. The Broncos, they kept it close. They remained in striking distance with their play. They were aided by several fortunate late shot clock buckets.
Yeah.
And a combined 19 points from guard Agbo, if I'm pronouncing his name right, and
Yeah.
forward Najee Smith. Damn,
Yep.
some of these names are just freaking
Hey,
hard.
some of these names I can't really get. Some of these names I don't really
I
get.
know.
I be
I
having
know,
it on
for
paper and I
real.
still don't know how to pronounce them. I like that.
Right. And then this game took on a different personality in the second half. In the second half, you saw much of the same as both the Cats and Boise State exchanged blows. But then it just looked like Northwestern has settled in because they had more momentum. It looked like to me.
Yep.
And I think Northwestern's late conversion of looks around the basket and several free throws was the difference in the game. And
Yep.
they were able to kind of pull away, find a bit of a cushion, and they took the game from Boise State. But that was a good game. I did watch the second half of that one, and I
That
was
was a hell of
mesmerized.
a game. That was really
Yeah, I
a
was
hell of a
mesmerized.
game, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I was mesmerized by Northwestern's play. I thought they looked really, really, really good tonight. And
Yep.
this team is for real, man. This team is for real. You can't sleep on the Cats, man. They're making the best of their opportunity now that they have a chance to make some noise in the tourney.
Yep. Another game that was really good that I had did and watched covered. The early first game was pretty good, man. Back and forth between West Virginia and Maryland. That game was back and forth. That game was just a game of runs, man.
Yeah.
We know how good West Virginia is coming up out of the Big 12. The record, don't show. They only had a 7-11 Big 12 record, but Big 12 is the best conference in college. That's a tough conference. Everybody just beat up on each other. And you got Maryland coming up out of the Big 10. Maryland ended up coming back and winning that game. Seemed like West Virginia was really going to run away with that game. They were up 19-6 in the game. They were forcing Maryland to turn the basketball over a lot early in the game. But then once Maryland started making some shots, and they started putting a little bit full court pressure on West Virginia couldn't handle full court pressure at all. And Julian Reese, the guard, the big man for Maryland, is really good inside. They also have a couple of guards that can really shoot. Jabari Long Jr. can really shoot the basketball. So again, Maryland is a really good team as well, and that was a really good competitive game all the way through. But 19-6, anything after that, when Maryland came back, it was a back and forth game of runs, and I really liked that game. It was a dogfight all the way through after the 19-6 run that West Virginia had. It was a dogfight throughout the way. Big men were battling inside, getting really, really physical inside. The guard play was very good for both teams. The best guard for Maryland struggled pretty good. Jameer Young, he struggled pretty good. He got to have a better game in the second round if he wants to. If they want to advance, he got to have a better game. But other than that, that was a dogfight throughout the whole basketball game. That was a game of runs.
Yeah, that was definitely a game of runs, indeed. And Maryland, they trailed by 12 early on.
Yep,
But West Virginia didn't really take advantage of Maryland's turnovers
yep,
because Maryland had a bevy of turnovers
yep,
early in the game.
yep,
And those kind of turnovers you got to take advantage of. If the opposing team is giving the ball away, you got to make something out of that. And
yep,
West Virginia wasn't able to do that. The Mountaineers, they lose the game. They go down early in the tournament. But man, Reese was impressive. Julian
yep,
Reese was he was remarkable. He had 17 points and 9 rebounds for Maryland.
yep,
Um, and now they will have their work cut out for them. They will have a tough task against Alabama on Saturday.
yep,
But hey, it's all about taking one game at a time. You don't want to look too far ahead. You just want to look at your upcoming opponent, and this tournament can go either way. That's what we've been seeing so far in this tournament. But
yep.
I think the 9-8. I think the 8-9, the 8-9 matchup between Maryland and the Mountaineers lived up to its down to the wire billing for sure. No
Yep.
question
You
about it.
definitely had, but
Uh,
you had that game, and you
yeah,
had the Arkansas versus Illinois game. Now
right.
Arkansas, don't be shocked if they beat Kansas. That team is good. That team is good on the defensive side of the ball. They got this guy who was really good, and you guys are listening, I want you to check the guy out and watch how he plays defense. His name is Jordan Walsh. He's got a bald head. He's number 13 on Arkansas. He gives you so many problems on that defensive end. And he gave Illinois guards fits. I like the ball pressure. Anthony Black, number 6'7" guard. They got two good guards who can really score the hell out the basketball. And Nick Smith, number 3. And they got Anthony Black, number 0, who's going to be a top pick in the draft this coming season. And they got some good big men. They got 2 twins. They got the 2 Mitchell twins. They also got Johnson as well. That team is really good, man. They also got Ricky Console, the transfer from Wichita State over there. They got a really good team, man. Kansas may have a little bit of trouble. I will take the safer pick and pick Kansas, but man, that Arkansas game, that game look like that's the definition of upset alert in the second round. The way Arkansas actually plays.
And I talked a little bit about that the other day, and also in my video, I talked about Arkansas being a team that can, cause some problems for Kansas in that next round. And the way this tournament is going, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at this point if Arkansas does upset Kansas. Look, Arkansas matchups really well. I will say this one more time. They match up really well against Kansas because they have the size,
Yep.
they have the length,
Yep.
and they definitely have the speed. And they definitely have guys that can score. They are well coached. That's a team to look out for. Arkansas is a team to look out for. That's going to be one hell of a matchup. And I am going to be watching that game for sure. That's an intriguing matchup.
That's an intriguing matchup. They also got
Kansas versus Kansas.
Yep, they got also got an experienced head coach in Eric Musselman as well, who coached in Nevada. The Martin twins, Caleb Martin and Cody Martin, who's in the NBA right now. So Eric Musselman is a hell of a head coach, and he knows what he's doing and down the stretches in these tournaments. So that's going to be an interesting dog fight in that tournament.
Too.
Yep, he's a very good coach
too. I remember when he coached in the NBA. He coached the Golden State Warriors for a little bit when they were a mediocre team. I remember that. But yeah, he's definitely a fiery coach. I think the players have brought into his coaching style. He has resurrected that program, has reshaped the culture there, and now suddenly Arkansas is a winning team. And since he's been there, he has kept this team competitive. They've been able to get into the tournament, and now it will be exciting to see how far they can go with the team that they have, and if they can pull off the upset against Kansas, that will be another upset on my bracket. That will definitely do more damage to my bracket because I got Kansas going very far in this tournament as well.
Yep. Yep. I would have had Kansas at least get to the Final Four of the League Eight. If they can win, but that Arkansas matchup look pretty tough, man. That Arkansas matchup look pretty iffy right now. That's a team that's not an ordinary 8 seed when you look at the team all around. And when you play actually Arkansas, and they also got an experienced guard who been to the League Eight with them last year, Devontae Davis as well, that can shoot the hell out the basketball as well. He's a cold-blooded left-hander shooter. So again, man, that's one of those matchups everybody on Sunday that's going to be looking out for.
Yep, you're right. And Oral Roberts, man, they just disappointed the hell. I knew I should have picked Duke. But Jeremy Roach, man, he was on his game. He matched his career high with 23 points. And Duke was able to defeat Oral Roberts 74-51.
Yep.
And I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to John Shire.
Yep.
Who took over as Blue Devils head coach. I mean, he's putting together an impressive resume in just 1 year. He really is,
I mean, again, this tournament is so unpredictable when you play every time in March Madness. It's so unpredictable. It's not one of those tournaments that's predictable. So again, oh man, bro. At the end of the day, you want to say when you pick, you want to go with the safer pick. But then again, you be like, when you pick that team and they play just like Arizona did, you be like, why? Why did I pick this team? Why? I knew this team was going to get beat down.
Why did I trust this team? Right. But you try to give a breakdown. You try to give a breakdown. You try to give a prediction that makes the most sense. And sometimes it just doesn't pan out the way you thought it would. That doesn't make you someone who doesn't know college basketball because, like I said, we watch sports. We are sports fans. We talk about sports. We analyze sports, but we're not going to be 100% correct all the time. And that's what type of tournament this is. If you were to get to the Final Four, and let's say if you have the 4 teams in there. Let's say if you have Alabama in there. Let's say if you have Purdue in there. Let's say if you have UCLA in there. And let's say if you have Houston in there, right? If you were to start that tournament all over again, you will have a set of 4 different teams.
Yep.
So, I mean, the team could be having a bad day where it's an off night. They're not scoring points. They made uncharacteristic plays. They just don't look like themselves, and they could lose the game. Or you have those teams that that's really, really good, like they're a perennial powerhouse, right? But they let other teams, like you mentioned earlier, hang around, and that team hung around so much that they started believing that they could win the game, and they end up taking the game away from them in the final seconds. And we've seen that.
Yep.
Now, you know what we didn't have today, Coach? We didn't have any buzzer beaters today.
Nope. We didn't at all.
At least not yet. We still got games currently in progress, but we haven't had any buzzer beaters today.
Nah, we normally have some at the first start of the first round or this round. Maybe we have a couple of some tomorrow. But this tournament also used to having buzzer beaters as well. It used to have all of it, man. So at the end of the day, man, hey man, we had 2 upsets. We may have some tomorrow as well, but this tournament is still going to be an exciting tournament. I feel like we're going to get a couple of them tomorrow. I feel like we're going to get a couple buzzer beaters tomorrow in the early stages of the tournament tomorrow. So I feel like we're going to get a couple of them. I feel like the buzzer beaters are coming soon.
Oh, throughout the tournament, then we still got the Sweet 16. We still got the Elite 8. We still got the round of 32, which is on Saturday and Sunday. There's still a lot of basketball left. So there will be some thrilling finishes. There will be some breathtaking plays. There will be some highlight reels. There will be some buzzer beaters. I'm pretty certain there will be. Just not maybe on the first day. But speaking of tomorrow's games, who do you like in tomorrow's games, and what intriguing matchups do you look forward to seeing tomorrow?
Well, first game I'm going to be looking for the game that I will be covering on the Empire Sports Network. It's the early game. I'm going to be covering basically the Michigan State versus USC game. USC is from the Pac-12, coming in at 22-10. Michigan State coming in at 19-12, who played in the Big Ten Conference. That's going to be a grueling dog fight, but I'm taking Michigan State in that game. We know when Tom Izzo gets in the tournament, it can be really tough to knock out Tom Izzo's squad. USC could definitely win this game, but I know how tough Tom Izzo's squads be once they enter into the tournament. They can be hard out. And Tom Izzo, Michigan State is a really good team. You got Baylor going up again. You got Baylor playing. Baylor, like I say again, this tournament is unpredictable, but the safer pick is Baylor right here. VCU could beat St. Mary's, but I got St. Mary's going to the Sweet 16. I think VCU could beat St. Mary's, though. Think they can
watch out for VCU, for real. Watch out for VCU. Virginia Commonwealth, watch out for them.
Yep. And you got Vermont going up against Marquette. Marquette is a hell of a basketball team. Coach Saka Smart over there doing a hell of a job over there. Team that come out of the Big East.
You got former VCU coach.
Yep, former VCU coach. You got them on the map, actually. We got Pittsburgh versus Iowa State. Iowa State is out of the tough, grueling Big 12. But you got Pittsburgh, who just played in the playing game, who has some really good talent on that team as well. That could be a matchup that Iowa State could very much lose. Pittsburgh can score. They got guys that can put the ball in the basket. Creighton and NC State. Creighton and NC State, really good matchup. Really good matchup. NC State, really good squad. Really good team. Got a hell of a coach. Got 2 guards that can play. They got height. They got size. They got length over there. Loyola Chicago against UConn. Loyola Chicago, I'm actually picking an upset right here against UConn. I'm actually going well with Loyola Chicago with UConn. So don't be surprised if that happens right there. Purdue going up against Fairleigh Dickinson. Fairleigh Dickinson, who just got into the tournament, who just played a playing game. You expect Purdue to beat them, but again, Purdue never goes far in the NCAA tournament. I don't even got them getting past Memphis in the second round. I don't even got them getting past Memphis in the second round. You got Providence versus Kentucky. Kentucky, another team, when they get in the tournament, they can also cause problems, but guess what? They can also lose in the earlier round like they did last year. They lost against St. Peter's, the Cinderella team, last year. They can also lose this game against Providence. Now you got the one I've been talking about, Drake and Miami. Drake is a really good team. They could beat Miami. Miami got some really good team, got some really good players. They got 2 good guards. Jordan Miller, good perimeter defender. Grand Canyon versus Gonzaga Gonzaga could win that game right there. But we've seen Gonzaga come up short plenty of times when it matters the most. We've seen them come up short a lot. You got Memphis versus FAU. You expect Memphis to win that game. 2 good guard play. Got guard play. Kendrick Davis is one of the top guards in the country. Montana State versus Kansas State. Kansas State, really good. Got a forward, got a guard that's really good. Keyshawn is really, really good as a forward. And you got a guard that is really, really solid. And you got Indiana versus Kent State. Trey Jackson Davis. Trey Jackson Davis is good. And Jalen Hood is also good. And you got the nightcap, Arizona State versus TCU. TCU comes out the beat up Big 12, the group broiling Big 12.
got a full slate of games tomorrow, man. You got some more interesting matchups, man. Memphis, to me, is the most dangerous 8 seed in the tournament. Penny Hardaway squad can make a deep run as well. And like you said, Purdue is one of those teams that can never exercise their demons, their March demons. This is a team that usually falls early. And, I have seen some glaring weaknesses with that Purdue team. And one of those glaring weaknesses is that their guard play seems to collapse.
Their guard play is not good.
Their backcourt collapses when, their backcourt is pressured. They're not good handling the full court press. We've seen that with Purdue. We've seen the Nindy Lions, Penn State do that to them, right? The full court press was too much for Purdue to handle. Now, we all know what Zach Edey's going to do, because Zach Edey is clearly, and he is widely considered to be the most dominant big man in college basketball. Now that's a fact. He is. He's the most dominant big man in basketball. We know that he's unstoppable, but we also know that Purdue is at times stoppable because of their inability to be a backcourt team. And that can hinder their success. That can slow things down for this Purdue team. They're gonna need more than Zach Edey. They're gonna need more production out of their guards. They're gonna need, guard play to be solid if they want a chance to win. And they're gonna have to be more effective in the backcourt. And that's what's concerning about Purdue. But, I mean, they've been one of the top teams in college basketball all year. Zach Edey, man, is a beast. I always say that about him. What is he, 7'4"?
7'4". Yep.
That dude's a giant, man. That dude's a giant, man. Yep. I mean, when he gets scoring, he is nearly impossible to stop. He can work inside the paint. He terrorizes defenses with his ability to attack the basket. He could finish around the rim.
Yep.
He has a lot of size. He has the wingspan. He's just an all-around player, and he's clearly Purdue's best player. But you take him away, and Purdue's done. Purdue's basically done.
You take him away, they basically done, man. To make somebody else score, yep.
He's a huge factor to what they're doing over there. So they're gonna need more than Zach Edey. And I like Purdue. I picked them to go to the Final Four, but I mean, at this rate, when you look at the bracket and you look at how this tournament is going, I mean, we most likely could have some more upsets tomorrow, and Purdue could be one of those teams that go down early, for all we know, right?
Yep, you ain't lying about that. You ain't lying. 1 seed versus a 16 seed. Hey, don't be surprised if that happens.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop acting surprised. Because I mean, Arizona's loss today had me shocked as hell. Maybe I shouldn't have been as shocked as I was, because again, I mean, it's been the story of March Madness in recent years.
Yep.
Number 2 usually falls to number 15 for whatever reason.
Yep. You're going to see a 15 versus 2 matchup. Every year, you're going to see a 15 versus 2 matchup being upsetted. You're going to see a 15. Yep. I always see a 15. That never fails. Never fails.
Never fails. Never fails.
Never fails.
It happens. But I guess that's why it's called March Madness. It's called March Madness for a reason.
Yep, it is.
And you never know what could happen. in
Nope.
March. There
Yep.
is so much unpredictability. There is so much suspense. There is so much drama, and that's what makes this tournament the best tournament in sports.
Yep.
And that's what defines March Madness. But Coach
Yep.
Dante, we are about to wrap up the show. It's been another great episode.
Yep.
Uh, man, I mean, I can't say enough about this show and uh how fun it's been to work with you and the team here at Sports Empire Network. And I know a
Yep.
lot of the guys, man, they've been doing their thing with their shows. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody, whoever's listening. I want to give a shout out to everyone here at Sports Empire Network. That's not only Coach Dante, but that's everybody. Shout out to Freddie for giving me the opportunity to use this platform. Shout out to Key Williams. Shout out to Gene. Shout out to everybody. I don't want anybody to feel left out. If I didn't mention your name, you know who you are. Shout out to you guys too. I really appreciate the love and the support. And that is one of the reasons why I came over to this network. It's a family atmosphere here, and I enjoy doing work here. And Coach Dante, man, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Final thoughts, man. Shout out to you, man, for doing this show. Me having me on, and it's an honor to always work with you and come on the show every time you have this episode. Talk March Madness, basketball, football, NBA. So shout out to everybody on the network, and shout out to Freddie bringing me along. Allowing me to be the play-by-play man for this network, and just shout out to everybody that's in the group chat with us and everybody that does watches us and supports us every time the network go live.
Well said. You couldn't have said that any better, man. Um, what I've learned in life, it takes the help of others to also
Mm-hmm.
get to where you are.
Yep.
But you also have to help yourself for those people to open doors for you. And when you are able to help yourself, and when you are
Yep.
able to put in the work and you grind and you hustle, that's when doors will open for you. So it's always great. It's been a privilege again. And Coach, man, it's going to be some more great games tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll be back on tomorrow. We'll be back
Yep.
on tomorrow, and we'll do another full episode of just strictly March Madness
Okay.
because there's just so much to talk about.
Yep.
And there's a lot happening right now in the NCAA tournament, and I think we need another day of a full episode where we just go all in and we talk nothing but college basketball because tomorrow's
Yep.
going to be just as exciting. If you think day one was something, then day two is going to be probably wilder and crazier than what we saw today. So
Yep.
we'll be back tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Uh, Tomorrow's Friday. We'll be back with another episode. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Same time, same network. Peace.
Peace out.